Hi Angel Besties, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Rachel. Welcome to another 24-hour readathon reading vlog. I'm so excited for this weekend. I have not done a 24-hour readathon since July, I think, so it's been too long. It's been way too long since we've done this, and I'm really excited. If you do not know, a 24-hour readathon is essentially where I read as many books as I can in a 24-hour period. I will say though, I do like to split up the 24 hours. So today's Friday. Tomorrow I'm going to be reading for 12 hours, and then on Sunday I will do the same. So I split it up 12 and 12. I just find this method to be a lot more doable, a lot more manageable. I don't feel dead afterward, which is always a plus. And I do feel like I read a little bit more, which is always great. So as far as a TBR for this weekend, I usually like to mood read when I do a 24-hour readathon, but there are a couple books that I'm thinking of reading and I'll talk about those. So number one, I did get the audiobook for None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, a thriller. Who is she? I have just heard nothing but fantastic things about this book, and the premise really intrigued me. And I was like, you know what? A thriller is great for a 24-hour readathon, so I am gonna be reading that tomorrow. And another book that I'm thinking about picking up is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I've heard really wonderful things about this. This is a historical fantasy with a bit of romance, I believe. And another great thing about this book is it is quite short. This is actually Half a Soul and then a prequel novella. So I think the actual book itself is only 200 something pages, which is really great for a 24-hour readathon. Other than that, we will see where my mood reading takes me this weekend, but I'm really excited. I'm in a huge reading mood. I kind of just want to read everything right now. So I think that's going to be it for me. I am planning to get up around 6 a.m. That is what time I'm setting my alarm. We'll see what time I actually start the readathon, but I do want to get started early just so I can knock out a few books early in the morning. I'm just feeling really motivated, you know, so I'm gonna try to be a girl boss tomorrow. That is it for me today. I will talk to you guys tomorrow once I am in the readathon. Hi friends! So it's time for my first check-in of this 24-hour readathon. So I started this morning at 6:45 a.m. It is now about 8:40, and I'm about 100 pages into my first book, which is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. This is kind of like a Regency era fantasy romance, and I'm really enjoying it so far. I didn't have like low expectations for the book when I first started it, but I didn't have super high ones either. But I've been very pleasantly surprised by how quickly I connected to the characters, how much I'm enjoying the plot and the writing. So this is going really well. I'm glad that I started with this book. So as I said, Regency era fantasy romance. Essentially, this book follows our girl Dora. When Dora was younger, she was cursed by an elf and he took half of her soul. But we get to present day and she is living with her cousin and her aunt, and her cousin is going through the process that you do in Regency era when you are a single lady, which is trying to find a husband. So they are going to balls, they're presenting her to society, and Dora just kind of tags along the way. During this whole process, Dora ends up meeting Lord Sorcier, who is a very grumpy, sassy, but very beautiful man who ends up knowing a lot about fae and fairies and elves and offers to help Dora with her situation. And the two of them kind of have this begrudging friends to lovers, I'm going to assume, kind of arc happening. And I really like their dynamic. Lord Sorcier is so witty and funny and sarcastic, and I'm only 95 pages in, and this is a pretty short book anyway, but I feel like we've already learned quite a bit about him, which I really enjoy. He stands on his own. As I said, he is sassy, he is a little bit of a grump, but he does do very caring things for the people that he loves, and I think that that's really sweet. And so he's kind of got this hard exterior and doesn't want anyone to know that he's actually quite a big softie, I believe. But I'm really enjoying their dynamic. Dora is just funny and quirky, and I think that she kind of amuses him a bit, and then Dora is just not really fazed by Lord Sorcier's grumpiness. So I think that they're a really cute couple, and I'm liking the other characters in this book as well, and I just like the Bridgerton vibes that this book is giving me. So far this is actually a really strong book. I'm really liking it. It kind of gives me, like, if you put Bridgerton, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and The Cruel Prince, like, all together, that is what this book is giving me so far, and those are just wonderful vibes. So that is kind of my first impressions of this book. I'm really enjoying myself, and I'm excited to see where things go. So I'm going to just continue reading this morning, and then I will talk to you guys in a little bit when I have finished this and started something else. Hello friends, how are we doing? It is 3 p.m, so it has been a minute, several minutes one would say, since we last talked, but I have read so much today and I'm so excited about it, and spoiler alert, all of the books that I'm reading are going really well, so I'm just having a really wonderful time. I feel like this is gonna be one of my most successful 24-hour readathons. Hope I don't jinx myself, but let's talk about the books that I have been reading today. So number one, I finished Half a Soul. This was delightful, honestly. I said this earlier this morning, I just didn't have huge expectations. I don't know why, but I was overcome with emotion when I finished this book. I teared up at like the last line of the epilogue, which is crazy. I feel like in such a short book, in such a short amount of time, I was able to connect to these characters. I really loved their love story. I really loved seeing these two people fall for each other. And the writing was beautiful, and the love proclamation by our main character was just so stunning to me. And there was still this kind of sarcasm and wit throughout their relationship that I enjoyed. I think that this is so beautiful. I think this is such a wonderful fantasy romance. Definitely gonna be a new favorite of mine. I gave it 4 stars. It's not like a 5-star overwhelming, oh my god type of situation, but I think this is so solid. I think it's really beautiful. I think if you like historical romance, you would like this. And I think if you're like me and you just want to read all the fantasy romance you can get your paws on, this is one that you should pick up because it was really just joyful and fun and full of a lot of like fae and fairy lore, which I really enjoy, and definitely gave me, as I said, like a little bit of the Folk of the Air series vibes, not with the plot, but just the general wickedness and just kind of how the fae and fairies are described and written about in Holly Black series. I think it's similar to this. So this was really sweet, really beautiful, a well done romance. I think really the only reason that it wasn't a 5-star was the plot. Not like, I didn't dislike the entire plot, like me giving a book 4 stars just because I like the romance. It's happened before. But the plot was like, fine. You know, the situation with our main character losing half her soul, she's cursed by this elf. She does try to rectify that situation with the help of Lord Sorcier. It was cool. It was fine. Like I was just here for the Regency era vibes and the romance and the characters. I think that they carried the book on their own, and that is how I got to a 4-star. So really, really good, really, really beautiful and sweet book. And then because I was in that kind of Folk of the Air, fairy, elfame vibe, I decided to pick up How the King of Elfame Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black. So this is a short story collection about King Cardan Greenbriar. I love him so much. I've read the entire Folk of the Air series, but I have never read this, which has a bunch of really fun stories chronicling Cardan Greenbriar's life. Some of these stories take place before the events of Folk of the Air, and then some of them take place after. Some of them kind of take place during, and this was so good. It was really fun. I didn't really know how I was gonna feel because I'm not really a short story girly. Like that's just not really something that I gravitate towards, but it was really exciting and just wonderful to be back with Cardan. I love him so much. I just have to say, I think I've said this before, but it bears worth repeating. Cardan and Jude's enemies to lovers arc, best enemies to lovers I've ever read in any fantasy book, like adult, YA, I don't care. It is so well done. They are such great enemies and then lovers, and oh my god, I love their dynamic so much. And it was really fun to see little peeks into Cardan's life early on. It was also really fun to see how absolutely obsessed he is with Jude from the beginning. There are moments here that take place before the events of the Folk of the Air series. He knows Jude, he goes to school with her, whatever, and she's just always on his mind, and I love it so much. He's absolutely obsessed and he hates that. And yeah, it was really cute. I think that this is absolutely worth reading. If you have read the Folk of the Air series and for whatever reason you have not picked this up, you absolutely should. Also, some of the stories give us just domestic Cardan and Jude, them just hanging out, and I love that. I will take any scrap of Jude and Cardan and what they're up to. So this was really good. I gave it 4 stars as well. It does make me want to reread the Folk of the Air series so badly, you guys. Like, oh my god. But I'm doing too many rereads lately, and I need to be reading new books. I need to be getting through my physical TBR, but that will definitely be a series that I reread, I don't know, maybe later this year or early in 2024. I just love that series so much, and this book really solidified that. So this was really great. It went by really quick. It's like 175 pages, so perfect for a 24-hour readathon. And now we are switching gears. We are on another planet, and that planet is thrillers. I am listening to None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, and this one is really good. I'm loving it. And I'm surprised. I really am. I didn't know how I was gonna feel, but I just heard so much praise for this book, and I was like, you know what? I've never read anything by Lisa Jewell. I want to pick it up. The premise sounded interesting enough to me, and I really like it. I love stories that feature obsession. I find it fascinating in a thriller setting, and this book definitely has that. I have this feeling of absolute dread while I am listening to this book, but that's a good thing. I really, really like when a thriller makes you feel something, and especially this early on. I don't know what the plot twists are gonna be, but I have a feeling they're gonna be bad. They're going to be like sinister. Honestly, that is how the book feels. There is this underlying like slow burn, sinister feeling happening, but I am enjoying it. And if you don't know what this book is about, our two main characters, their names are Josie and Alex. They are two women who end up going to the same restaurant for their 45th birthdays. They're total strangers, but they meet in the bathroom, as the girlies do. When you're out, you talk and make friends in the bathroom, and they discover that they are both turning 45 today, so they have the same birthday. They live in the same general area, and they were born in the same hospital, so a very weird coincidence. And the two of them kind of like slowly strike up a friendship. One of the characters, Alex, she is a very successful podcaster, and her podcast features women who have come from struggle but have come out of it and are now like huge success stories. So that's who she interviews. Josie, our other character, listens to her podcast and is like, oh, hey, I want to be interviewed by you. I'm not a success yet, but I'm about to change my life, and I think it would be really cool if you chronicled that. I'll tell you my story and you'll kind of go on this journey with me. And Alex is not sure at first, but then once she starts to learn about Josie and her life, she is very, very intrigued. One of the things about Josie that Alex is finding interesting and she really wants to learn more about is Josie's husband is way, way, way older than her, and there is a lot of history there and a lot of story there, and definitely is a huge factor in Josie wanting to change her life and things like that. So that's all I'm gonna say plot-wise. But yeah, whew, bad vibes. I am just so nervous for whatever the reveals are going to be. I think there's just a lot of deceit going on, especially, I mean, the book is called None of This Is True, so I imagine, you know, at least some of this is not going to be true, but I'm so curious to find out why, like who's lying, at what level, why are we lying, what is the truth, and also what is Josie wanting to do, because she talks about, oh, I'm going to be changing my life and all of that, and there's the obsession layer between the two women. So I'm here for it. I'm having a really good time with this book. It's really good, and I just I'm like so creeped out, but in a really good way. So I am going to just continue listening to that book. I have like 2.5 hours left of the audiobook. It's 3:15 now, so that'll get me kind of close to 6 o'clock, and 6:45 is my 12-hour mark where I'm going to stop reading for the evening, take a break, and then start up again tomorrow. So I'll definitely finish this book before the end of the day. I'm having a really great day. I have read 2 4-star books, and I don't know what I'm gonna rate. None of this is true, but I'm absolutely loving it. I was like, oh my god, I have to sit down and film a clip when all I want to do is listen to this audiobook. So I'm really excited. Look at me loving an adult thriller. That's so exciting. I think that's gonna be it. I do think I might get on reading sprints with some friends later, so I might include some b-roll of that. But other than that, it's gonna be a chill night. I will talk to you guys once I am done with None of This Is True, and I'll let you know my thoughts, and then we'll probably end it for today, and then I will start up again tomorrow. So I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Okay, so I just finished None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. What? What happened? What happened in this book, actually? Okay, so that was really good. I really liked it, but who do I believe? What story do I believe? The epilogue, the freaking epilogue, man. I don't even know if it was an epilogue. The 16 months later thing. Questioning everything now. Wow, that was really great. That was a really, really fantastic thriller. I was gripped the entire time. I was so into it. I really loved the character dynamics between Alex and Josie. It was sweet and innocent in the beginning, and then it just got sick and obsessive. The web of lies that I don't even know like what is a lie. The web of lies that were told. I think it was really good storytelling that Lisa Jewell did. I think that there were so many layers to this and so many characters involved too that it made such a dynamic story, but it's sick. It's very, very sick. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe. What's the truth? It's so wild and so twisty, but I don't know. I don't know. Really good. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I really, really loved it, and I thought it was really great. I don't know. What even was this clip? I don't even think it was of any value, but here we are. Really good, really wild. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what I just read. People are terrifying. So that is my 3rd book, you guys, and it is I don't know if you can see that. It's 6:15 p.m. So in 30 minutes, I will be at 12 hours of my 24-hour readathon, which is really great, but I'm thinking of being a little bit of a girl boss, as I said earlier in this vlog, and I think I'm gonna start my 4th book because we have a whole day of reading ahead of us tomorrow, and I kind of just want to pick something up. I'm not gonna try to like finish a book today or anything like that. I am going to get onto some reading sprints with friends, and I might just pick up like a fun fantasy romance on my Kindle. Tori at Tori Between Pages, love her. She recently read Mountains Made of Glass. I should probably check that. Is that what it's called? It's by Scarlett St. Clair. She recently read it and she really liked it. I think she gave it like 4 or 5 stars. Yeah, Mountains Made of Glass. It's a fairy tale retelling. I've never read a book by Scarlett St. Clair, and I know that she writes like spicy fantasy romance, and I believe the books are generally kind of more heavy on the romance and less on like the fantasy world building plot, things like that. But I think that could be a really fun time. It sounded good. It's like a light Beauty and the Beast retelling, but I thought that the way that Tori talked about it, it just sounded really interesting and sounds like it'll be fun. I might start that. I'll see how it is. I've never read a Scarlett St. Clair book, so I don't know what I will think of the writing, but I think I'm gonna give that a shot and see where the night goes. So I will talk to you guys either later tonight or tomorrow, and we'll do this whole party all over again, which I'm really excited for, but I will talk to you guys later. Hi friends. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no reason to be checking in with you right now, but it is 9:05 and I'm still reading. I'm 50% of the way through my 4th book, in fact, so I don't know what's going on because I am so tired. Like, I'm so dead right now. My contacts are drying out as I am talking to you, but I just keep going. I don't know what it is. I'm just having a really fantastic reading day. But it's weird because even when I've done 24-hour readathons in the past, like even if I'm enjoying what I'm reading, like good, usually when it's time for me to stop, like it's time to stop, right? Like my body is hurting, my brain is mush, all of that. And my body does hurt and my brain is mush, but I'm still very much comprehending everything I'm reading. I don't know, I'm in a weird mood. I'm not gonna question it. And I've just continued to read. So yeah, I can't believe that I'm on my 4th book today. I'm very excited about it, but I'm probably gonna stop reading after this check-in. I don't know though. What if I finished this book? I might. Who knows? We'll see. I will tell you guys tomorrow, but I did want to just kind of give you guys like first impression thoughts of Mountains Made of Glass by Scarlett St. Clair. I'm loving this. I did not think that I was going to like this book as much as I am because I am not a Fanro spicy novella girl for the most part. There's like 1 or 2 that I've read that I've enjoyed and like cool, but I don't really seek that subgenre out because for the most part, I want, you know, good world building, I want lengthy plot development, character development, romance development, banter, tension, slow burn, and then spice. Those are the perfect ingredients for a stunning fanro for me. So like spicy novellas, contemporary or fanro, it's just not personally like my thing. But I wanted to try this book out because Tori just made it sound so fantastic. And I was like, you know what? Tori and I have similar taste. I want to try it out. I want to see what I think of this book. And it's perfect for a 24-hour readathon. I am having so much more fun than I ever thought that I would. It's obviously like a fast-paced book. It's 200 pages, but the romance between our 2 main characters is super cute. It's super tension-filled. The imagery of this book is beautiful. Okay, this kingdom that our main characters are in, and I haven't even described to you what this book is about. Apologies, my brain is gone. The kingdom is described as this very like evergreen forest, just beautifully nature-filled, lush. The floor is like all moss, and then there's vines on the walls, and there's like beautiful candles everywhere, and there's just greenery everywhere. It sounds perfect. I want to go there right now. So that has been really beautiful. I just really appreciate the author is taking her time with describing the setting and really transporting us there. And there's a lot of magical creatures, which I love. There's like selkies and sprites and pixies, fae and elves and goblin type beings, something like that. So basically the premise of this book, before I get ahead of myself, essentially our main character, her name is, I don't know what her name is. I'll get back to you on that tomorrow. But our main girlie, she lives in a village that is cursed. It has a bunch of curses on it, and like every day or every week, it is someone else's turn to try to break the curses. And in the beginning of the book, it is our main character's turn to break the curse. She has to kill this toad that is in a well. Well, she does kill him, and then she finds out that that was not just a toad, it was like an elven prince in his fae shapeshifter froggy form. And now she has to answer to his 5 elven brothers who like show up at her house in the middle of the night and are like, you just killed our brother, so you know how the Fae and the elves do a business. You now are essentially going to be banished from your land and you're gonna go off with our brother. So there's 6 elven brothers, I believe, because she killed the 7th one, and she gets sent off to him, and he's known as the Beast. So it's like Beauty and the Beast retelling. It's very light. She goes off with him. He is the Prince of Thorns, and she's basically his prisoner there. She is stuck there, but he strikes a bargain with her and says, if you can guess correctly my actual name, I will set you free in a 7-day time period. So she has a week to figure out his name, say it out loud, and then he'll be like, bye girly. But we all know that's not gonna happen because it's Beauty and the Beast, and they are fighting. Not very hard fighting, but they are fighting an attraction to one another. Obviously it's a 200-page book and it's a spicy novella, so like feelings and things are happening, but I am loving it because our main character is really exploring kingdom. She's interacting with all these different creatures. There's also, I think, gonna be this overarching plot because there is gonna be, I think, like 6 or 7 books following each of the brothers and like their romance. And so I think there will be an overarching plot because our main guy, the Thorn Prince, he said that each of them have a piece of this broken mirror that their father, the Elf King, gave to them. And so there's like 7 pieces of this mirror, and whichever one of them can put the mirror back together can become king of like everything. And so I feel like that's probably gonna be an overarching plot maybe, which intrigues me. It's just fun. You know, it's not like the deepest world building or anything like that, but going into this type of book, you don't really expect that, but I'm having a really good time and I'm liking the way that the story has developed thus far, and it's just giving me a lot more than I thought that it initially would. So I'm really happy about that. I even was like looking to buy the physical copy of this book. I guess it's not out until November, only the ebook is out right now, but I'm really excited. I already feel like I'm going to read this whole series whenever the next book comes out. And something else too that I just really like while reading this book is I looked at the author's Instagram and she said that this is her favorite book that she has ever written. And I just love that. I just think that's so cool. It just makes me really happy when authors talk about like how special a book is to them. And the fact that this is her favorite book, I just think it's really cool. This is the first book I'm reading by her and I'm really enjoying it. That's where I'm at right now. It's fun, it's a little silly, like, you know, but I'm enjoying it and it is just hitting me the right way. So that is going to be my update for now. As I said, it is very late. I've been up since 6:30 in the morning and it is 9:15 now. I've been talking way too long. So I am potentially gonna finish this book tonight. If not though, I'm gonna finish it tomorrow morning and we will discuss my final thoughts and what I'm gonna read tomorrow. So I will talk to you guys in the morning. Hey guys, so it is day 2 of this 24-hour readathon. So last night after we talked, I passed out immediately. I didn't read anymore. And so today, just because last night, technically I did read for 14 hours yesterday, I'm gonna read for 10 hours today to make this a proper 24-hour readathon. But this morning I continued reading Mountains Made of Glass. I literally only have 50 or 60 pages left as I'm filming this. So after I film this, I'm just gonna go finish that off. But I'm still thoroughly enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. It's very spicy. There have been a couple scenes that have been a little like, I've rolled my eyes a little bit at, so I do think that I just thus far have really loved the first half, and the second half I am still thoroughly enjoying, but there's just been a couple of silly goose scenes, you know, whatever, it's fine, but I'm still enjoying myself. But I also started another book because I am simply unstoppable this weekend, and that is A Broken Blade by Melissa Blair. So this is a book that I've had for a while, and I'm really excited about it. I'm listening to the audiobook, so I don't know where I'm at, but I'm gonna guess probably only like 60 pages in, but this is a fantasy romance. I have heard though that there's not like a ton of romance in this book, so I don't know. I've kind of heard some people who have read it talk about it and say it's more like a fantasy with a romance subplot, but I will let you guys know what I think after I read this. But our main character is Kira, and she is the favored assassin of the king. She basically goes around and kills anyone who is a threat to the king, and she is tasked with capturing and killing the Shadow, who has been making moves against the king. He is this very like unknown, mysterious, but big threat to the kingdom. And this quest takes her to the Fey land, Faelands, which she has heard nothing but terrible things about. But once she is there, she realizes there's more to the Faelands than what she has been told, and she kind of starts to question everything that she has been told thus far in her life and kind of who really is the bad guy. So as I said, I'm only really in the beginning of the book, but I'm excited and intrigued by that plot. I know this is also a little bit of a Robin Hood retelling, and I have seen little pieces of that, and I'm excited to explore that more. But overall, instantly, I was really into this book. I really like our main character. I do want to say, please check trigger warnings for this book, because very early on in the novel, our main character self-harms. Definitely there is self-harm trigger warnings and alcohol abuse trigger warnings, so please check those before you pick up this book if you're interested in it. In the beginning, it does kind of go into that on page, so just wanted to let you guys know that. But our main character, she has definitely been through a ton in her life. She is in a position where her people have been enslaved by the king, and instead of killing them off, he basically just uses them for whatever he wants. And so she has worked her way up to become his blade, which is like the highest, as I said, most favored assassin. But she definitely has like a lot of inner turmoil that she is working through, issues with being seen as just a killer and all of that. So we're kind of diving into that a little bit. So that is the update for today. I think I'll finish Mountains Made of Glass first, and then I'll just keep reading this and listening to it on audio, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts as the day goes on. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hi friends, this is an angle. We'll try to keep this quick, but I just want to talk to you guys about A Broken Blade. I'm 50% of the way through, and I have thoughts, some good, some bad. Kind of my biggest issue right now, and just this is unfortunately making my interest wane a little bit, is I know that people have said this book doesn't really have a lot of romance in it, but it is marketed as a fantasy romance, and there's definitely like an enemies to lovers situation that I can tell is supposed to be happening. But I personally, in my humble opinion, believe that our two main characters have absolutely zero chemistry. And it's not like a I hate you. It's like, no, we're probably friends, but it feels so platonic. It feels like there's nothing between these two people. And it's just kind of disappointing, because even in fantasies that I've read where it's not a fantasy romance, but there's a romance subplot, you can still get that development. You can still get that relationship development. You can still get that tension. You can still get that banter. I am feeling absolutely nothing between these two characters. Like, genuinely, at this moment in time, I'm kind of just like, wait, is this the couple? Are like, is someone else gonna join the party and like make things interesting? I'm a little bit disappointed by that. And I'm a big fan of slow burn. I love the slowest of the slow burns, but even in a super slow burn book, you still get those little like pieces and little moments of tension and hands brushing and contact held too long or something. I'm just a little bit disappointed by that. And like, as far as the story, our girl is on a quest. It's like perfectly pleasant. Like, I am not enjoying this book. There's nothing really I dislike about it, but I'm just kind of like okay about it, you know? So that's where I'm at. I feel like the romance is a little bit stale / non-existent, and then the plot is like okay. I also feel like Kira as a main character, so in the beginning we learn so much about her. There's this backstory, there's what she's currently going through, there's a lot of mystery to Kira, and I am like here for all that. I was like, yes, okay, I like this character. She is someone who has a little bit more of a hard, cold exterior. I enjoyed that. Now though, I feel like there hasn't been a lot of character development. Her interactions with the people are pretty stale. Again, not good when I am using the word stale to describe two aspects about how I feel about this book. She's not super, I want her to be doing more. I just want to see a little bit more of her. If she's angry and hurt, I want to see more of that. If she's liking the people that she's spending time with and getting to know them better, I'd like to see a little jokey moment. Like, I just want something more. So that's where I'm at with A Broken Blade, and we'll see how the second half goes. I am like right at the 50% mark, so I'm ready to be dazzled by the second half, because I think that this book has promise and potential. It's just, as of right now, things are perfectly okay. So that's the update for A Broken Blade. I did also want to let you guys know that I finished Mountains Made of Glass, so that was book number 4, and I enjoyed myself. I definitely preferred the first half to the second half, but I still liked the story overall. I liked the romance. It was like very fun. Like, the book was very fun. I gave it 3 stars. For a spicy novella, for me, that's like a good rating. It wasn't like 5 stars perfection or anything like that, but like, it was 3 stars. I had a good time. There were a few moments while I was reading the book that I was like, oh, I think I'm gonna give this 4 stars, but then there were like a couple cringe moments that I was like, no, this is more of a 3 star. But overall, I enjoyed myself. I'm definitely going to continue on with the series whenever the next book comes out. And if you're looking for like a fun fantasy romance spicy novella, really pretty imagery, and just a fun book to read, I would recommend. That's the update for now. I think I have like 2.5 hours left of my audiobook, and I only have like about 2 hours left until my 24 hours is complete. But I'm going to finish this book, and it's just going to be a part of the 24-hour readathon, even though I am going over a little bit. But we can just keep that a secret between us. And then I will have read 5 books for this 24-hour readathon, which is the best I've ever done in any 24-hour readathon. I'm pretty sure I've done so many, but I think that 5 books is the most that I've ever read in a 24-hour time period. I'm so happy. It's really cool. And I've enjoyed all of the books that I've read so far. Like this might be the dud of the weekend. Who knows? We shall see if we end with a bang or not with this book, and otherwise though, I've had a really good time, and I'm excited to see how I think about the ending of this book. So I'm gonna finish it, and then I'll talk to you guys either tonight or tomorrow with a little wrap up of my feelings on this book. Hello my loves, it is time to close out this 24-hour readathon reading vlog. So it is the next day. I finished Broken Blade last night, and I have to say overall I thought that this book was very fine. I just don't think that I ever truly connected to the story or the characters. I liked them. I liked the general story. It is kind of your typical fantasy/fantasy romance premise, so I enjoy it. And as I said before, it was a pleasant read, but it's really not anything that I think is going to stick with me, and I didn't like it enough to where I'm curious to see what is going to happen next. I'm not going to pick up the next book. I don't have anything terrible to say about it. It's not my type of read. And also I was just left underwhelmed by the romance personally, and I know that it's definitely like a subplot, but still I wanted something, and I just don't feel like these two characters have a lot of chemistry, and that just didn't really change for me as the book went on. Overall, I thought that that book was very average, and I gave it 3 stars. So with that, that is going to be the end of this 24-hour readathon reading vlog. I was able to complete 5 books this weekend, and I'm really happy about that. I enjoyed most of the books that I read, which is great. I don't think I had any major duds. I was just slightly disappointed by A Broken Blade, but not so much that like it hurt, you know? But overall, I read some really great books. I had a really good time, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you made it to this point in the video and you wanted to let me know, go ahead and leave the fairy emoji. Please make sure that you're following me on Instagram and Goodreads. They are always linked down below. I really appreciate that you watched this video. I hope that you are all having a fantastic day. I love you all so much, and I will catch you guys in the next one.